Okay, so today we're talking about Makea. I know. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise!
But I don't know if you've noticed, but Makea looks a little different from the usual cartoon heroine. Because, not just because she's like a talking sheep, because, we like talking ponies and things like that over here. But I mean because she is curvy. So, yeah, and I have a reason for that.
There's always a reason.
In fact, I have quite a few reasons, and personally, I think they are good reasons. But let me know what you think. So, hi everyone. My name is Erin, but you can call me Rini. And today we are talking about Makea, more specifically, how curvy she is and why. So, the first reason is personally, I'm just not a fan of the one size fits all look. Like in Equestria Girls and Ever After High, where they have the big heads and the little thin body and everybody looks alike. So, yeah, I just wanted her to look a little different, not just from other characters in general, but just from other characters in the show itself. Just to make her stand out more. And then, of course, as you might know, Makea originally started out as just a regular human girl, but as I changed the story around, tweaked the character designs around, she gradually started to become more round. First, it started with her hair and her bangs being those round orbs, and then suddenly it was her eyes and her hips, and even the hearts that she wears are like rounded instead of having the usual sharp edges. And in shape theory, it is said that the rounder the character or the rounder the shapes you use, the more friendly and bubbly and happy they look. And so, Makia's whole thing is, like love and friendship and happiness. So I figured the rounder the better, and I just kept rolling with that. And of course, there are in-universe reasons too. Like, she's a baker and she has never said no to a cupcake, especially one made by her own hands. So, yeah, her chubbiness can also be called the consequences of her own actions because, a lot of the times if there is a character who likes to eat, specifically a female character, then, that's it. She could always be talking about food, always shoveling food in her mouth, and unless she is like the designated fat girl, where that's like her only job is to be like a joke, then she's not gonna gain any weight. Like, we've all seen Sailor Moon and things like that where because she's the main character, like her size did not change except for that one episode that was actually about like unhealthy weight loss.
So you're gonna totally quit eating? Sure! But that's really bad for you. You want to lose weight? Cut the junk. All those ice cream sundaes and potato chips and root beer float.
What a sacrifice!
But other than that, like their eating habits don't really like affect them at all. Which, it's not for me, I know. I'm trying to keep some realism in a show about talking animals. I know, look at me, so professional. And then there's also the genetic factors. I know, right? Again, realism, talking animals. But basically, her mother and her grandmother both have like the Hartman hips. If you grew up in the early 2000s, you know what I'm talking about. Like Timmy's mom and Dexter's mom and all of them, how they are like just like all hips, all curvy, like. So I thought like her having like inherited that look, looking like her mom and grandmother as, I do in real life and a lot of you probably do, then I just thought it would be like a cute little detail if like, she looked like them because they are related. And of course, for another IRL, in person, in real world reason, is because where I'm from, that is just what the girls and the women look like. They are just a lot more solid, like shape wise. Like obviously we do have some that are like skinny and tall and stuff, but the majority of us, like including myself, we do, whether you're fat or skinny, short or tall, like we do like have, we have the thighs, we have the hips, we have the boobs and the big arms and all that.
Weird.
So I think it's nice to be represented that way in the media that I make. You know, like I said, instead of just the one size fits all where everybody looks like a lollipop with a skinny body and the big heads, you know? So, and I am trying to balance the realism. I've said this before. You know, talking animals, how real do you want to go? Do you want to go like Hello Kitty, where, you know, everybody just happens to be animals, or do you want to go full Beastars, where there's like, whew, animal politics and eating each other and stuff? And so I'm still trying to find that balance, but once again, I am off topic. I just like working with, yeah, the basic gist is that I just like working with different body types. Like, even in Wildside itself, it's not just Makea, it is like the other characters as well. Like, we have Heather, who is tall and skinny, then we have Sunny, who's more athletic, Alia, who is plus sized, and Mayhem, who is downright muscular. All of them still girls, still feminine, and I like, you know, experimenting with different outfits for them, seeing how their body type like appeals and speaks to their different personalities, and you know, I think it's fun. But what do you guys think? Do you prefer like a one size fits all cast where the characters are basically like interchangeable aside from just a few features? I know this makes it easy for like doll making and stuff. Or do you like it when there are more diverse body shapes in the media, specifically cartoons? Like, maybe, you know, maybe you yourself are like someone who is taller or shorter or fatter or thinner than, you know, what's been portrayed in the media that is directed at you. So, do you actually think this kind of representation matters, or do you just want to watch a show and not think about anything? Because honestly, that's valid too. But yeah, leave a comment, say what you think, leave your opinion. Oh boy, saying that on the internet is a bad idea, I know, but I generally want to hear what you have to say. So, anyways, I think that's all for now. So, bye!